Okay, so today we'll be finding the product of two fractions, as I was saying earlier. We'll also be looking at dividing a fraction by a whole number. And some word problems involving fraction of a whole. Okay, and some problems involving division as well. I've some other questions, additional questions to help supplement, okay, because I think some of the questions may be a little bit short, but I think some of them may need some longer questions. So I have that insight towards the end as well. Okay, you'll check that out later. Okay, so let's start with some warm-up questions, all right? Okay, let's see. Oh. Okay, yes. Dan has already keyed in the answers. I believe he has already tried. Who else have already tried the questions? You can put it into the chat box. Yeah, so we have a few options. All right, Chloe, you can either type it into the chat box. Okay, I'll be able to see it. Or if you want, you can also say out some of the answers. Okay, so I'll leave that to you all. Right, but I will check with everyone, right? See how is your progress. So let's see, without the use of a calculator, how can we multiply these fractions? Okay, I see Dan's answer. Anybody else have the answer? Candice, how is it this time? This time around, this questions, is it okay? Do you know how to do that? Okay. Chloe, how do you find this? Gordon, is everything okay? I think Liana has already gotten the answer, I believe. Okay.
The answer is 9 out of 35.
35, you mean? Yes, it is. Okay. Yes, I saw Dan's answer. Anybody else? Yes, Candice, you wanted to write or say something? Yes. No? Okay. Chloe, any questions you want to say about it or anything you're not sure about? Okay, it's okay, Giselle, don't type in there. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so the first answer, as you can see, is 9 out of 35. Okay. The second answer. All right, we can simplify this time. So if you directly multiply, then you will have to simplify in the next step. But if you simplify first, as you can see, before you multiply, you get the answer in the simplest form. All right, so you can try both ways. Okay, so let me write out what if you had directly multiplied instead.
I also have a paper. My teacher gives me a colored paper so that we will like, I don't know why.
That's okay. So if you had directly multiplied, what would you have gotten? You would have gotten 6 out of 56.
Paper is the same as the question.
Okay.
There's multiplying fraction, proper fraction by whole number, multiplying improper by whole number, and then there's a lot more at the back.
Okay, that's fine. So can you see I wrote out the alternate method? Okay, so for those who are not so sure about how you could cancel, all right, you can see how the so-called cancelling is done. Okay, so the cancelling is actually you're simplifying before you carry out the multiplication. Okay, so if you simplify before you carry out the multiplication, you see you will get the answer immediately from there, 3 out of 28. All right, so that is the cancelling method. Okay, which means to say that you simplify first. All right, you simplify the factors. Now, for those of you who are not sure how to do that, you can actually carry out your multiplication first. All right, so the other method, as I put it at the side here, can you see? The one I drew it at the side. Okay, so you can multiply before you simplify. But as you can see, the final answer is still the same. All right, is that okay, everyone? Okay, and just run through first. Candice, Chloe, Gordon, Diana, any particular questions about this? Okay, I see Dan mentioned about, is that a cross division method? Dan, just to clarify, you're referring to the one which I drew the arrow there, simplify first, is that what you're asking? Yeah, you can call it a cross division if you would like to. Okay, but yes, you're right. It must be dealing with a numerator and denominator. That's why in a way it's a division. Okay, But yeah, I hope you understand the two ways, all right? So I can leave that there for you, okay? Okay, so let's see the next one. So if let's say you look at the simplifying first, okay, before you multiply, you will get the answer immediately 6 out of 13, as you can see. All right. So just a quick check, who prefers the simplifying first? Anybody prefer the other way, which I wrote on the right side? Do you prefer the left or the right side? That means you
I
multiply,
prefer
then you simplify.
prefer the left side.
Okay, that's fine. What about the rest? Do you prefer to simplify first, or do you prefer to do the other way, as I showed you? Then you simplify. Candice, which way? Left or right? You point that way is right, is it? Right side. This one, okay. Okay. So that means you want to multiply first, then you simplify. Okay, sure. So that's why I leave that for you. But I would say is that normally, all right, normally, if you simplify first, your numbers will be smaller. So sometimes it might be easier actually. All right, because as you can see, 6 out of 8, if you simplify, you get 3 out of 4. The number will get smaller when you simplify first. Okay, sometimes when you directly multiply, you might end up having a large number, you see, like 56 before you divide by 2. Okay, then you get 28, of course, but before you divide, you'll get a larger number to work with. Okay, the last one, there's nothing to simplify. Is there? Oh yeah, there is. Sorry, I just saw. Okay, so you'll get 3 out of 7. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's right. So is that okay, everybody? Before we move on to more examples? Okay. Okay, yeah, Giselle, you got to remove that. Otherwise, it will always be on the screen. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Okay, let's check out the next one. How do we simplify our answers? This time we are multiplying by a whole number. All right, so what does the multiplying by 8 in this case, or you multiply 9 multiplied by 4 out of 5. So what do they mean? Are they same as fractions when you multiply like the previous examples? Are they the same thing? All right, would like to share the answers first before we check it out together. 4 out of 7 multiplied by 8, this first one. Okay, let's see the chat box. 2 out of 7. Okay, yes. Yes, thanks, Chloe. So you multiplied first before you convert it into a mixed number. Very good. Yes, Giselle, what about you?
4 whole 4 out of 7.
Okay, yeah, that's a final answer. Very good. Anybody else like to share some of your steps or any other method that you do? Well, I think there's only one method in this case, right? Is there any other method that's different that anybody would like to share? Yeah, I saw Chloe's method already. The rest? I think should be about the same, right? So let's see. Okay, I think they'll give the final answer. Okay, so yeah, we get the improper fraction first, then we convert it into a mixed number. That should be the most common way, I believe. Okay, Dan added one more thing. Thank you, Dan. So what Dan did to the whole number was he wrote it as 8 out of 1. Very good. Okay, so for those who are not very comfortable, you see, a fraction and then the whole number, you can actually change the whole number into a fraction form. Okay, which means to say that you can actually write it as 8 out of 1. Be careful, not 1 out of 8. This is 8 out of 1 because it's 8 wholes. Okay. Yes, thank you, Liana, for the set of answers. Very clear. Thank you. Okay, any question? Why is it 8 out of 1 and not 1 out of 8? I hope that is clear. But if you have a question, please feel free to clarify, all right? Especially if you're confused. Okay, otherwise that will be what it means when you say a whole number. Yes, Giselle, please
Mixed
go ahead.
Mixed number for 3, I think, is 7 wholes and 1 out of 5.
Yes, indeed. Okay, yeah, so that's the other thing which I want to talk about, which is the converting of an improper fraction to a mixed number. Is everybody okay with that? Okay.
Because
So-
the last day is it's a good practice to like simplify. No,
Yes.
like convert it into a mixed number.
Yes. Yeah, last week we also mentioned that, right? We always simplify as far as possible, even if they do not say. All right, so that's a good practice that we always do. Okay. Especially for the final answers. So 36 out of 5, right? As you can see, you can pull out 7 multiples of 5, 7 times of 5. That's why there are 7 wholes. Okay. So if anybody have any questions about the converting of a mixed number, please let me know as well. All right, so that we can go through them. Okay, D is 40 out of 9. Okay, so how many times of 9 we can get within 40 will be, there's only 4, right? Because 9 times 4 is 36. But we still have another 4 parts remaining. That's why you see the numerator becomes a 4 out of 9. Okay, let's see. How is it, Gordon, this time? Is everything okay today, Gordon? Yes? Okay, I see Gordon there. Liana's already given me the answer. I think Chloe has also given me some answers earlier, I saw. All right, yes, thank you. Okay, it's done with the first part. Okay, Kenneth, how is it? Is it okay? Are you? Thank you. All right. Okay, very good. I think so. Let's move on. Now let's check out what it means. All right. Since we have looked at quite a bit of fractions multiplied by fractions multiplied by whole number, so it is also important to know what exactly is the reason why we multiply by that. So we have this example here for us to help us to understand better. All right, just in case you're not absolutely sure about it. Okay. All right. Okay, I see Liana written something about it. Thank you. Let me just have a quick check. To multiply a fraction by a whole number, multiply a numerator by the whole and leave the denominator the same. Okay. Okay, yeah, so that is the mechanics of how you multiply a fraction. Okay. But let's check out what does it exactly mean in terms of why we do that. All right. So in this example here, what do we have? Okay. A piece of paper was torn into 2 equal parts. Okay, so just imagine you have a piece of paper, you want to split it into 2 equal parts. So one part in this case was given to Ashley. And the second equal part, the same exact thing, was given to Belle. Now what did Ashley do? Ashley folded hers into 3 equal portions and shaded one part of it, one portion. But for Belle, she folded hers into 4 equal portions and shaded 3 of those portions. So how do we tell what fraction of the paper did Ashley shade? Okay, we're finding a fraction of the paper, not just Ashley's own part only. The fraction of the paper is referring to the original paper before it was cut into 2 parts. Do you all see that? Okay, so how do we find the fraction of the paper then? Because it's already been split. So what do we need to do? Do you all see the picture first? How, Gordon? Will you be able to help us with something? Yes? Anybody? This one is a supplement question, so that's why you might not see it in your worksheet. But what do you think if based on the piece of paper that was split into 2 parts? Oh, Giselle, you want to say something about it?
No.
No? Okay. Anybody? Before I show you some diagrams there to help you to understand? I think you understand, I believe. It's just how to put it into words, right? So what I'm showing you all here is what is the meaning of a fraction multiplied by a fraction. Okay, so shall we look at it? Okay, let's see. So imagine a piece of paper. There you go. There's a diagram of an example of a piece of paper. Okay, rectangular piece of paper, and split it into 2 equal parts. Can you see the top part and the bottom part? Okay, yes, thank you. Then, so the top part is going to be given to Ashley. All right. And what did Ashley do to her piece of paper?